in the entrepreneurship space in data science and AI, do you think building our own LLMs would be the way forward, or using the GPT-5 because there are two kind of startups which are coming in the market right now?
I think that we are facing a phase of transformation. So we are going to transform jobs. This has already happened in many phases of history. Okay, this happened many years ago with the Industrial Revolution and the steam machine. This has happened when PC.
You're an entrepreneur yourself, more than 32 years of education in the education system, training people, India, and I think you've done multiple countries. You're teaching in Rome as well.
Yeah, and I'm teaching in Milan and teaching in Warsaw.
Lovely. What's your advice to these guys?
We want to transform them from, very good student into managers.
Are there some skills you see in the class and you see these guys grow as an entrepreneur later on in life? Were they the first benchers? Were they the last benchers? Were the curious guys who used to raise their hands?
I think that...
All right, hi everyone. Welcome on board. Today we have got Professor Poli with us. Hi Poli, sir, welcome on board.
Nice to meet you.
It's such a pleasure and honor that I'm here at the SDA Bocconi Milan campus, and I'm interviewing this gentleman who's heading the show in the Bombay campus. Boys and girls are going to be learning a lot in this session with Professor Poli. How's the AI shaping up over a period of time? Like we were discussing it out with Alejandro and you just a few minutes before that. Amazon has fired 30,000 plus people. TCS in India has fired 12,000 plus people. And this continues, and on the name of AI, and all my friends, because I'm 15 years out of my business school, so are either CXOs or CXO -1, and they've been given a mandate, like the 3/4 of the workforce has to go. So do you think more job losses are going to come?
I think that we are facing a phase of transformation. So we are going to transform jobs. This has already happened in many phases of history. Okay, this happened many years ago with the Industrial Revolution and the steam machine. This has happened when PC entered. When in the first year of the 90s, PC was taking the place of some jobs. Okay, yeah. So it's a transformation. Of course, probably the difference between this transformation and the previous months is that it's very fast. It's very fast. In the meantime, we're talking. I'm pretty sure that sometimes it's happening in the world of AI, some new startups, some new version of. So it's very fast, and so when a transformation is very fast, sometimes you find some critical point, and so probably now we are in a critical point.
So you've been teaching AI and subject and data science as a subject to students in India as well as the Milano campus. So this is my personal question. It's for my 500,000 followers, we call them the CATKing family. 90% of the population is the Indian population, and the rest are from the SAARC Asia and a little bit of the Americans as well. But what's your take on the student comparison? Did you find any Indian students' study style different than our students studying in Milan?
Yes, a bit. Of course, it's part of the culture. I think India students are with a more solid quantitative background. They commonly are more, I would say, tech savvy. They are much more prone to use technology. Maybe they are less, let's say, challenging the professor. It's not typically Indian to challenge during a lesson the professor with an opinion. They commonly follow the professor. In Europe, the thing is probably different. Students are a bit less technologically, let's say, based. They like to challenge the professor. In US, even more. I've been teaching also in US. They like a lot to challenge the professor. But again, the quantitative preparation, for example, in US is less. In Europe is middle. So I like a lot Indian students. They are very, our students are definitely very prepared to work. Yeah.
Any feedback, if you have to give it to them, like a constructive feedback? You can be open
to the
students, like, hey, you know what?
Work hard, be prepared to work hard, be always curious, never say I can't, you always can do something. So very basic things. We want people that would like to work and to take the most they can from our lessons. Okay, we want to transform them from very good student into managers.
Are there some skills you see in the class and you see these guys grow as an entrepreneur later on in life? Were they the
Oh, a
first
lot.
benchers? Were they the last benchers? Were they the curious guys who used to raise their hands? Were they mathematicians?
I think that it's always a mix, okay? You can be very much concentrated on performance and skills, and your career will be in that direction. You can be a very good performer in communication, and so your career, always, in my opinion, you have to, let's say combine the things, okay? I used to say there is the rule of pi. Pi means performance, image, exposure.
Yes.
So performance, you have to perform.
Yeah.
But if you perform and you don't show it, and you are not able to transfer this, okay, it's not working. But
Excellent.
if you are only exposure and image, no performance, sooner or
not
later
gonna work.
someone will see the bluff.
Right.
So you have to combine performance, image, exposure. You have to be very much skilled. You have to be able to communicate your skill. You have to be able to, let's say, manage. I mean, why it's important, human skills. Because you have to be able, leadership, accountability, it's very, very important. It's not only business analytics. If you are a fantastic business analyst, a very high performer, but you are not able to transfer your projects, your contents, you are not a leader, that's not a complete. What we try to build, it's a complete manager. And a complete manager, of course, has a lot of opportunity. I can mention my past, I started in 1993, so even people that met me during the university, I teach at second year bachelor university, now they are managers.
Yeah.
And I have students that were with me and now are CEO, now are CFO, and of course, they were the ones that were able to get all the three parts.
Awesome, awesome. So coming back to my first question about data analytics and AI and your experience as entrepreneurship. So in the entrepreneurship space in data science and AI, do you think building our own LLMs would be the way forward, or using the GPT-5 because there are two kind of startups which are coming in the market right now?
You have three possibilities to introduce generative AI in your company. You can train from scratch, you can specialize something already there, or you can use this RAG, this
Yes, right.
augmented. Clearly, you have a scale of complexity, cost, time, so clearly this will be something that it depends on the size of the company. This depends also on the regulatory environment, because if you're a bank with a lot of rules, probably it's better that you incorporate your and you train your own if you are. So it's a mix. It's a mix of opportunity, so time and cost, and goal that you have.
Right.
All the three have pros and cons.
Okay, lovely. So what's your advice to my student? They're all like 21, 22 years old, and you are living this life. You're an entrepreneur yourself, more than 32 years of education in the education system, training people, India, and I think you've done multiple countries. You're teaching in Rome as well.
Yeah,
and
I'm teaching in Wien and teaching in Warsaw.
lovely. What's your advice to these guys? Because AI is confusing, right? It is confusing. Like, it's confusing for me as an entrepreneur as well, because on one side there is ChatGPT, then there's ChatGPT 4, then there's 5, and Gemini is also increasing. You can do video leaps. There's a lot of stuff happening. Editing can be done. This podcasting can be done also in AI. You can write songs, you can sing songs, you can do any kind of framework. But when a student is pursuing a business school degree, and should he focus on the first is, as I say always, maths, right? And you know maths, and then you go to the Excel sheets, and then you learn data science, you start doing R's and the Pythons of the world, and then the overall machine learning bracket, and then you move to that side, and then you build a ChatGPT framework. So the advice is to them to learn coding, or to be on the usage side of it, like prompt engineering, right?
Oh, for sure. If you ask me, I always say to my guy, coding is something that you can learn after. First, you have to learn about business. We have to be business analysts. We have to be support for the business. As we were mentioning before, first you have to select a business opportunity. Then comes coding. And in the end, our school is a school of management. Then the coding is coming after. And by the way, if we want to just say that when and where ChatGPT and all this stuff are very, very, very useful is writing code. Even if you haven't written in the past a line of Python, but you can prompt ChatGPT. And so definitely they have invested their time in understanding. Our courses in analytics, our courses in machine learning is to give them the right level of technological understanding, okay, of the techniques, in order to be effective in using it in the business. Okay, I used to say, okay, you want to play basketball with LeBron James and Luka Doncic in the United States? Okay, first you have to learn how to handle the ball, how to shoot. Okay, so we have to understand this, and then you play. But coding, okay, coding is a side effect. I wish to all my students that they will have someone writing the code for them, or ChatGPT writing the code. The point is, how do I use? Which is the business opportunity? Which is the business problem I'm facing? So definitely.
Awesome. So it's the business. So the 4 P's of marketing and the 5 C's and the blue ocean and the red oceans are going to sustain?
All this and much more, because
much
more. The things are really evolving every day.
But the basics of business is the thing which you would advise them, whether it's operations or strategy or marketing, and then AI could be used to enhance them. But learn business first, and of course, and the usage of AI would be helpful. That'll be lovely conversation, boys and girls. Do hit the like button for sure, and drop in a comment section. What do you guys like about this podcast? Any questions you have regarding analytics, please feel free to answer, or data science, or the careers, what kind of job they're there. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Thank you so much, Poli, for your time. It was a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you to you.